The year is 1965. Two nations, Pakistan and India, are on the brink of war. In the skies, a new breed of fighter aircraft is poised to change the dynamics of air combat. The Lockheed F-104 Starfighter, known for its speed and sleek design, has become one of the most advanced jets in the world. But how would this cutting edge aircraft fare in the heat of battle over South Asia? In this episode, we dive into the story of the F 104 Starfighter, Pakistan's supersonic ace, and how it became both a symbol of power and a weapon of war in the skies over the subcontinent. In the early 1960s, Pakistan became the first non NATO country to acquire the F 104 Starfighter. Originally designed for high altitude intercept missions during the Cold War, the F 104 was unlike anything the Indian Air Force had seen before. Capable of flying at Mach 2, it boasted a cutting edge radar system and carried AIM 9 Sidewinder missiles. The Starfighter wasn't just fast, it was intimidating. With its futuristic, needle like profile and unmatched speed, the F 104 was designed to climb fast, strike hard, and disappear before the enemy even knew what hit them. But would this high speed interceptor prove itself in the tight, unforgiving dogfights of the 1965 war? September 3rd, 1965. Tensions between India and Pakistan are escalating. A pair of Indian Nats have just engaged two PAF sabers. But as the fight intensifies, a sleek, silver shape appears on the horizon. It's the F 104, flown by Flying Officer Abbas Mirza. The Indian pilots were caught off guard. They had never faced anything like the Starfighter. The sight of the supersonic jet was enough to send the Nats fleeing in panic. The F 104 had struck fear into the heart of its enemies before even firing a shot. It was a psychological weapon as much as it was a fighter. Just 4 days later, on September 7th, 1965, the F 104 had scored its first kill. Squadron leader Amjad Khan was on a routine patrol when he spotted an Indian Mystère 4. The Starfighter, built for speed and altitude, quickly closed the gap, and within seconds, Khan had a missile lock. With a press of the trigger, the Sidewinder missile screamed through the sky and struck its target. The Mystère exploded, making the first ever kill by a Mach 2 aircraft in South Asia. The victory was more than just a technical achievement, it was a statement. The Starfighter wasn't just a high speed interceptor. In the hands of skilled Pakistani pilots, it was a deadly weapon, capable of turning the tide of the air war. But as powerful as the F 104 was, it wasn't without its challenges. Built for high speed, high altitude combat, the Starfighter struggled in slower, close range dogfights. Pilots needed to maintain high speeds to stay effective, and with its razor thin wings, it was difficult to maneuver at low speeds. This limited the Starfighter in engagements with Indian MiG-21s and Nats, which were more agile in dogfights. However, the PAF pilots quickly adopted. They played to the Starfighter's strengths, using its incredible speed for hit-and-run tactics. The F 104 would zoom into a fight, fire its weapons, and then climb rapidly out of the engagement before Indian pilots could react. This strategy helped the PAF maintain air superiority during key moments of the war. By the end of the 1965 war, the F 104 had secured its place in history. It wasn't the most maneuverable aircraft in the PAF's fleet, but it didn't need to be. Its speed, firepower, and psychological impact on the Indian Air Force made it a symbol of power. Although the F 104 only secured a handful of kills, its role in defending Pakistani airspace was undeniable. The Starfighter wasn't just a plane, it was a message that Pakistan was willing to push the limits of technology to defend its skies. The legacy of the F 104 in the 1965 war lives on as one of the boldest chapters in Pakistan's aviation history. The F 104 was a product of the Cold War, but found itself in the skies over South Asia during one of the region's most intense conflicts. Fast, deadly, and feared, it helped Pakistan assert control over the air during critical moments of the 1965 war. It may not have been perfect, but for the PAF, the F 104 was a symbol of their resolve, their ingenuity, and their will to dominate the skies, no matter the odds. Subscribe for more stories from the skies, and if you like, remember to leave a comment and do suggest what topics you'd like to see covered next.